All right, y'all. Let me cut the music. Welcome back. Welcome back to your favorite WMMA podcast. Hashtag CB99 Talks. Episode 202, right? Actually, no, it's, yeah, 202. 202. Let me fix that. 202. I got to fix that right there. I was thinking 202, but I wrote down 201. All right, that's better. We're back in the house, y'all. Feels like it's been a while. It's been like what, about 8 days since the last live. But hey, man, need a little time to chill. Had a lot of stuff to do. A lot of stuff going on. Busy, man. So I was like, hey, I started to get on last Friday. I started to jump on last Friday, man. But I was just like, ain't gonna make it today. So yeah, we pushed the show back. But that's what it is, man. Not a lot going on because we didn't have no big fights. We did have one fight I was looking forward to, which I'm gonna talk about here. But what's going on? Easy E said no, Holly. Holly, no. Yeah, Holly's back in business with boxing. I want to talk about that, man. Yeah. I did post live. Here's how I went, Easy. Look, here's how I went. So Friday, I planned on going live, right? But I had stuff to do when I went and did it. Then I went to do my daily run. But man, it was like 89 degrees, which ain't bad, but the heat index was probably like 95 or 96. And it's that humidity. So I went running and I did like, no, Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday. Um, I did like 6 miles. I ran a 6 mile run and I was feeling good, but I was just like, man, I'm tired. Like that heat this time around, it was just like draining my energy, man. So when I got home, man, I was like, you know what? Forget this. I was just like, forget y'all. I was like, nah, I gotta chill and drink me some water, sit down and take me a power nap. And I was like, yeah, I ain't going live today. I think I had told BJ too, because I had told him I was gonna go live. And I was like, forget that, man. Not today. I was like, we ain't missing no big fights or anything. So I was like, yeah, it was crazy, man. That heat's been crazy. Like it could be 86 or 87, but the way like the humidity is here and the heat index it feels like 98 or 100. You can't really be out there like that. So I used to be fine with it, but as time goes on, I'm just like, I might have to start running at like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning. Like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., that heat ain't out there yet. I might have to just start getting up early to do it then. But, trying to do it when the roaster's really on at like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when it's peak heat out here. Nah, man, I can't do it anymore. Like I probably can, but I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it. Like I wasn't sick or nothing, but I was just like, I ain't like that feeling, man. I was like, nah, draining my energy. So yeah, man, that's what happened. I was like, nah, I ain't going live tonight, man. Easy said the rain's been keeping the heat away in Texas. We better enjoy it. Triple digits ain't fun. No, triple digits ain't fun. Triple digits is not fun. I prefer it over the snow, but you really have to be careful what you do in the heat. Like cutting the grass, running real hard right out in the sun, you know, just spending long hours out there. Can't do that. But yeah, man, we back in business and I know a couple weeks ago we had a few fights going down that I want to talk about. I know going back to like boxing too, man. There's some boxing. Uh, I didn't watch that Jake Paul card. I ain't watching that, man. Like I said, I'm not watching that crap. I am not watching Jake Paul's crap. Never. Um, you know, when it comes to professional fighters like Serrano Taylor, I want to be fair. I will watch their fights, but I just can't watch it. Look, Jake Paul, he's doing okay by being promoters. Being a promoter for these fighters, for these professional fighters, which is where he needs to be. Just stay as a promoter since you got money and you got clout. Just be a promoter, but don't try to be like some type of boxer. You're not a boxer. stay out of that business. What's going on, Tay? Yeah. July 11th is all women. That's what I'm saying. Like, I probably look at the card. Like, I don't like Jake Paul, but I, I, I support the women on the card. I support the women on the card, for sure. But yeah, this past weekend, Holly, she made her little train. No, this 2 weeks ago, right? I didn't get a chance to talk about this. Holly Holm took on this young undefeated fighter. And I mean, honestly, I thought Holly would have been in a little bit of trouble, maybe stamina wise, as far as how the rounds went on. But you got to remember, these are what, 2 minute rounds, and it's 10 2 minute rounds. That's probably a break for her. And it's a big break because you ain't got to worry about head kicks or takedowns, right? So I didn't factor a lot of that in, but Holly looked like she kind of fell right back into place, man. Like, I don't know how she would do against like one of the champions. I'm not necessarily saying, oh, she ready for like a champion again, but Holly didn't look like she was too bad off here. She still had her reflexes. I like her clinch game off of some of the left hands that she was throwing. She was throwing some nice, combinations and then clinching up, which I think kind of transitioned from MMA. So I see her using a little bit of her moves from MMA here, the clinch game, her strength. But, overall, like, maybe, she just wanted to get in a couple of fights like this and get back in the win column just to fight. That's fine, but I don't think that's her goal. Like, I think her goal is to try to get a belt. And really, man, like, when you step in there with Serrano and Taylor, the girls with harder punches or stamina right now, I don't know. What's going on, Axel? What's up? How's everybody been? Yeah, Yolanda Vega. She fought undefeated Yolanda Vega, which I never heard of. I ain't never heard of. She was 10-0, but hey, I guess she was more like a fighter just out of Mexico, just fighting a lot of unknowns. But just to get back on, yeah, like you said, just to get back on the bite and just start doing it again, it kind of fell into place. And again, like I said, this is MMA. I mean, this is boxing, not MMA. So she don't really have to worry about, a lot of the things that she was worried about in MMA. And that it's back to hands, right? Back to hands, which was probably like, okay, let's do this, because as bad as she wants to just throw hands in MMA and just throw head kicks, it's like, you can't do that. Head kick might come back at you. Takedown, right? After fighting Kayla Harrison, you know what I mean? After fighting Kayla Harrison, this was like a walk in the park. This was a Disney ride for her. She was happy to get back on. Because let's see, Holly Holm getting a victory in combat sports. Last time she did that was 2 years ago against Yana Santos. Because before that, she got choked out by Mayra Bueno Silva, got choked out by Kayla Harrison, and that was it. And before that, she lost to Ketlin Vieira. Before that was before the fight she won over Yana Santos. So, MMA was kind of like a what you call it, lightning in the bottle. It was just lightning in the bottle for her. She got in. Let's be real. Like, let's keep it real. Like, Holly Holm got into MMA at the perfect time when it was still kind of going through an evolution. WMMA, that is, because you had Ronda, who was basically a judoka, and you had a lot of other girls who were still kind of slow with their hands. But Holly, she brought in a new flair as far as her movement and size and strength. But as time went on, bigger girls came in, smarter girls came in, more powerful girls came in, right? So they started putting the work on her. A little girl named Valentina put that time in on her, right? As bad as I wanted Holly to win that fight, because I was a Holly fan, Valentina put that time in on her. She put that real Muay Thai and physical strength on Holly, and it was just something totally different. So, she got in at that point where, had she not come back after like losing to Miesha Tate or Valentina, and went back to boxing, I would have been fine with that. I would have been fully fine with that. But we all know that wasn't going to happen because the money was big. The money was better in MMA than it was in boxing. And she had a big fan base, right? All the way up until she left. So, yeah. Chris Cyborg versus Holly in boxing, that would be epic. Don't you agree? Yeah, I think so. That would be interesting, because they duked it out in MMA, and now you have them move over to boxing. Honestly, though, that would be a dangerous fight for Holly Holm. Even though Holly's got the boxing record, like I think Chris, her power carries over well in boxing, and now that she's really sitting on her punches, she could really hurt Holly. But you never know, man. Like Holly just having to worry about punches, she might could be able to outbox or even like control some clinches there, right? I think Holly's used to the point fighting style too. Point fighting style of moving and clinching. She's been doing it longer, so that I would probably give the edge to Holly. But how her chin would react to a boxing impact punch from Chris Cyborg, I don't know. Yeah, she is a little predictable. Yeah, she announced her punches. She's basically saying, I'm about to punch you. With every noise and combination she make, like, here it comes. Get ready to counter me. Claude said Holly was only battling around 0.500 in the US. In the UFC, Holly became an instant superstar. I love to see it. She was never really recognized for her boxing. Yeah, no, like people just remember her as like a champion, but they don't know there was a period where she was really, really known in boxing. Yeah, man, she'd be making that noise. I think hang on one second. I think Andrea Lee's is worse. She'd be making that noise. Andrea Lee be always screaming when she be throwing her shots. All right, I got something here. There we go. But like I said, boxing, man, once you've done it for so long, it's second nature. Do your thing. Go ahead and, pick up as much money as you can, because when Holly was in boxing, it wasn't really big like that. The money wasn't big, but look, like I said, I can't stand Jake Paul, but thanks to Jake Paul now being like a promoter for women's boxing, it's starting to pick up now. Big checks for ladies. Like Serrano's made the biggest payday she's ever made. Katie Taylor's making the biggest payday she's ever made with this trilogy she's got going with Amanda Serrano. And then you got Alicia Baumgartner over there. Just a lot of these girls are making bank now. So if Holly can come back off of her name and fight to a certain level, even if she don't get to a belt, that's still a lot of money and recognition for her, So it might have took, when did she leave boxing? Like 12, 13 years ago? It's been that long, right, Easy? It's been like over a decade, right? Yeah, I know it's been over a decade, but yeah, like she's been gone for over a decade. For her to be able to come back now and see the money and actually get it and not be salty about it, just try to go back in and get it. Hey, like go ahead and try to get a couple of paydays. I have no problem with that. That all women's boxing card coming up too is crazy too. That kind of reminds me of Vic FC. The Heel Hookers, what's up? Heel Hooker said, I haven't seen Cyborg box. Would it be possible for Cyborg style in boxing might be more predictable than MMA for someone like Holly? Her boxing's better. Her boxing's getting better, but really Cyborg is green when it comes to her boxing. I think her power is present, but her boxing, to me, it all depends. Like if Holly falls into her predictability, like if Chris Cyborg's familiar with Holly and her overall body language and telegraphing shots, it might turn into like actual slugfest. But yeah, Cyborg's still kind of green with hers because she's only got 2-3 fights. She's still a little bit green in her boxing. It's not like championship. Look, honestly, I think Serrano would beat her. Even Katie Taylor, I think both of them fighters would beat her. Even if she fought what's the other girl's name? Chantel Cameron from boxing. I think girls like that. I don't even put her in the weight class with Clarissa. Clarissa's too big and strong for her. I'm talking about like the lightweights, the 135s and 147s. Like, I don't think Chris Cyborg can really box with them girls. Another thing is, Chris Cyborg get kind of emotional sometimes, like she'll start swinging wild too. Try to swing wild against a counter puncher in boxing, you're going down, That's what I'm saying. Like if Holly was more a little bit unpredictable with her shot, she'd be effective. Easy said, yeah, Holly's defense be much better than Cyborg's. Yeah, Chris really don't know how to box. She's a boxer puncher type, right? She's not really that mover type. And when she kind of like Valentina. Once you hit her, she'll kind of come after you. She will come after you. Yeah, okay, yeah, 2013. Yeah, it was like 12 years ago. Yeah, it was. I think that was her last fight. It was Ann Sophie Mathis, somebody like that. Yeah, so Holly, man, like I don't know if she'll ever win a belt, but I think we'll probably see her fight for like a title eliminator by the end of this year. Because what is it, July now? Probably like you'll see her come back in like November, July. But still on this boxing talk, man. What y'all think about this, man? Oh, Molly McCann, Meatball Molly McCann. She's signing to Matchroom, right? Matchroom Boxing. She trying to lace up her gloves now. I guess she see the money is pretty solid over in boxing, and she wants to make her move over there now. Since retiring from MMA. Let's see, she retired from MMA back in the spring, right? About not even 4 months ago. She announced her retirement 4 months ago, and now she right back into the ring. She's signing over to Matchroom Boxing. She gonna lace up the gloves. And my opinion on that, honestly, I think this is probably where she should have been. It's probably where she should have been a long time ago. When she took a couple of hard L's like 2 or 3 years ago, I think she should have made her move over to boxing back then. Because I ain't gonna lie, Molly McCann, her hands are nice. She's got a good right hand. She's got pretty good movement. Throw some nice combinations. I don't see her as a person. I don't see her as a fighter that really lacked a lot of things, and it just made her like this bad fighter, like a lot of people claim her to be. Like I always saw like some shades of something about her that said, okay, like if this don't work, she can go here. Like maybe bare knuckle boxing, that was an option. I kind of thought of her as like a bare knuckle boxer. She liked to get down and throw, but boxing would probably be her smartest move because she does have movement. And that is her thing. Like you'll see her winning against some of these girls until she either gets choked out, right? Like who was it? Was she fighting? I mean, she did pretty good against Priscilla Cachoeira. That was a good fight. They was moving, and she took a big shot, had a big golf ball on her eye. Her stand-up game was fine against Jillian Robertson until Jillian Robertson choked her out. She got she didn't get choked out. That Kimura against Aaron Blanchfield. A lot of them fights kind of forced her to do better, but I think the timing was just bad. Like her trying to improve her jiu-jitsu and ground game, it just wasn't coming together. Maybe it was a little too late. So I was like, you know what? She need to go to bare knuckle boxing. But yeah, she's going to boxing now. I think that's the best option. Let me see here. Yeah, she said, look, I can't wait to fight. Can't wait to show everybody the pedigree of boxing that I got. People will probably think I'm just going to run and try to take chins, which is correct. That is what I'm going to do, but in an educated manner. Eddie Hearn put her switch from cage to ring into further context. He said, what's important to know is that she really is a boxer first. She has a phenomenal amateur pedigree. She's won championships. He said you see a lot of fighters that try and switch from UFC to boxing because they already built their brand. But with all due respect, they're not actually elite at the discipline. There's no point naming names. But I'm yet to see a UFC fighter turn into boxing that actually has the credentials and capability to be a world champion. And I agree with that. Like, I think that, Molly McCann, her transitioning to boxing would do so much better because her lack of skills. It's her lack of skills. Like her main skill was boxing versus like some MMA fighters. Some MMA fighters, they want to come to boxing, but they never really grasp like the fundamentals of boxing. Like they never really grasp like footwork, lateral movement, distance management. And the big one, some of these UFC fighters don't know anything about a jab. right? They don't know anything about a jab. So just because you like fight in a mixed martial art doesn't mean that you can take one skill and succeed in it, right? See, Molly, she kind of did the opposite. Like Molly was a boxer coming into mixed martial arts. She wasn't a mixed martial artist coming into mixed martial arts, even a wrestler or a grappler coming into MMA, right? Like her foundation was boxing. So you take everything away, she'll succeed in boxing. Same as Holly. Like Holly, kickboxing and boxing was her thing. So you strip everything else down, she could probably go. She could come right back and fall right in. Not even miss a beat. So I think Molly McCann. I didn't even know Molly was. Did y'all know Molly is cousins with Katie Taylor? I didn't even know that. Like I just figured that out like a week ago. I seen them together, but I didn't know like Katie Taylor was Molly McCann's cousin. But yeah, I think that Molly's focus on hands, this is going to push her to even do a little bit more and not again have to worry about takedowns or anything like that. So you're going to see her fight to a higher level. Now, again, how high she can get, we'll see. Like I would honestly say this. I know who was at Heel Hookers asked earlier about the level of Chris Cyborg's boxing. I can tell you this. I think Molly McCann's boxing is higher level than her. Let's see. She said, "Look, I promise you, every time I step in the ring, I always leave everything that I have in there, the most honest account of myself. And I promise this man, Eddie, a world title within 8 fights." See, she already talking about a world title, like which she probably could get to. Maybe like like she said, 7, 8 fights. She could get there. And Eddie Hearn, yeah, easy. She probably gonna try to milk her. He could probably try to milk her for every dollar. So, he gonna move her the right way too. Like she could get there in 8 fights. So I think we already know that means he might line her up with 8, softies. And then boom, she gets a title shot against somebody like Michaela Mayer or somebody like that. Michaela Mayer or, what's the other girls? Sandy Ryan. Some of these other girls like that would bring a lot of money in, definitely in the UK. Let's see. She said, always been at the shows over the last few years causing trouble. So now I get to bring all the all the Irish fans with me. So yeah, I mean, she's got a fan base. And again, with boxing, she could shine. So I have no issue with her going to boxing. I mean, as long as she don't come back to MMA, I think she's fine there. Yeah, Heel Hooker says she could probably do good. Just don't know how far she'll take it. Yeah, because age is a thing too. I mean, let's be real. Like age is a thing, and just being able to settle in. I mean, she's 35. Let's see, 35 years old. So it all depends on her fight years too. Like how old will she feel, and how will her reflexes be against some of these girls that are polished? And that's a question. I wonder if she'll fight. I wonder if she'll fight Katie Taylor with them being cousins. So I wonder who she would actually fight or what weight she's gonna fight at. Is she gonna fight at 135 like Holly? Could you see her and Holly do it? That'd be interesting. Will they like make her and Holly fight on a Jake Paul card or a crossover card? Because Holly fights for Jake Paul MVP, right? Molly's gonna fight for Matchroom, so that would be interesting. Might see something like that happen. But yeah, I just think that this is the best bet for her if she wants to continue to do some type of combat sport. Don't try to do too much. Katie would retire with Molly if Molly got close. Yeah, I think her or Serrano would beat her. Honestly, I do. I think her best bet would be a fighter like Michaela Mayer. Shoot, I think Alicia Baumgartner, that girl probably put her down a couple of times. Because she's probably one of the more technical boxers in there. Alicia Baumgartner. What's the other girl's name? Terry Harper. There's a girl champion that named Terry Harper. She could fight too. Natalie Price. Is that her name? Yeah, I see a lot of these other fights from like the UK that might interest Eddie Hearn. Yeah, he's gonna try to make some big fights, get some money off it though. Heel Hooker said I think she fights at a lower weight class, maybe like super bantamweight, like 125 or something. Yeah, is she, man? Like they said, Alicia Baumgartner. I thought she was clear to that, man. You look, you okay? Yeah, 122 to 126. Yeah, she's around that range. So okay, so if she does something like that, let me see. Who are some of the girls in box? I have to look at that one day, but that's what they say, right? Baumgartner. I thought she was cleared of it. I thought Baumgartner was cleared though, man. I thought she was, man. But anyways, Molly boxing. I think the same situation for her like Holly. She'll definitely get a title shot. Will she get a title? That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing because they might not have missed a beat, but there's a lot of girls that have been beating that drum longer, and they might beat that drum on. They might beat them like drums. All right. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of fights going on this weekend, but I did want to talk about this one. You know, PFL. Was it PFL? This is no that's this weekend coming. The PFL Africa one. This is a PFL Europe too. On the other side, you know, the country, we got Dakota, but everybody forgets about Paulina Venusa, man. Paulina Venusa, PFL Europe. She went in there, made some easy work. But this girl, Jessica Kuna, got her rear naked choke in the first round, man. This girl, Paulina Venusa, man, she's looking like a threat, a potential threat. You know, she's got pretty good striking, pretty solid right hand. And now you see her here, you know, the solid ground game. Got in some nice ground shots in this fight. And then, you know, got this rear naked choke. Um, she's kind of coming up on the heels of Dakota. She has a lot of finishes too. I mean, she's 6-0. I believe she had, wait, hold on. Let me see. She's about three. Well, she's about three finishes, three good finishes out of her six fights. But I think that Paulina Venusa is somebody that has a lot of talent. She's a few fights behind Dakota because I think Dakota has like what double her wins. So I think this is a fight that you could see potentially happen. I wouldn't want to see it happen right now. I kind of wanted to see it happen now because Dakota's running out of fighters to fight. But I think that letting them both fight other fighters and then maybe signing both of them to the UFC at some point, let them clash when they get to the UFC. Uh, I don't really think it's like a huge rush to make that one because I think, yeah, both of them are in their 20s. You know, Dakota and Paulina are in their 20s. I kind of want to see this girl grow a little bit more because she's doing a lot of in there. You know, she's doing grappling. You know, her striking's looking good. She's just not one discipline. And, you know, Joanna gave her that seal of approval as well. I mean, I know Joanna doing that because she's what? They're from the same, yeah, Poland, right? They're both from Poland. So, of course, Joanna going to ride with her. But overall, yeah, I think that she is like a potential threat. Girl got a good right hand. I wanted to see her in Chanel Dyer fight, but Chanel bounced, man, and Chanel Dyer's gonna be fighting at 115 now on the Dana White Contender Series. So she's kind of taking a different path. So yeah, I like Paulina Venusa. Running Ring said good evening, everybody. Just drop it in the say hello. All right. So um I don't think that we'll see this fight between her and Dakota at any point right now, but it would be nice to, you know, just let them both build up and then eventually get to the UFC and kind of bring in a new crop of flyweights again, just to keep the UFC flyweight division moving. Easy said they got her off the street. What do you think about Venuska though, man? Like, I think she's decent, man. I think she is a decent fighter, man. From what I'm seeing, like she handled that girl Valentina Scatzese a lot easier than Chanel Dyer did, and easier than Dakota, man. I mean, I think no. Dakota stopped her in the first round too. Both Dakota and Paulina Venuska stopped her. It was Chanel Dyer who almost lost to her. So yeah, they they both have, like I said, potential skills that the UFC needs to, that the UFC could eventually sign him. Just continue to let her grow too. All right. But sticking with the PFL, let's see what else we got this weekend. Paulina Venusa. Moving from her, we got Dakota, Ditcheva, and Samiko Anaba. All right, appreciate it. Running Reese says she hit the like. Yeah, she gone. All right. Dakota Ditcheva versus Samiko Anaba. Oh boy, tomorrow we're gonna go in tomorrow. Just so y'all know, we're gonna be back on with the other show tomorrow. All right. Because tomorrow is the WMMA mashup with BJ from No Filter MMA. All right. And we're on different sides of the fence on this one. And what's crazy is, look, I've been rocking with Samiko Anaba. All right. I've been rocking with, I've been watching her in Bellator. I'm a fan of Samiko, okay? I'm a fan of Samiko. This is my quote. I've been saying this for a while. Look, I love Samiko Anaba, but Dakota, man, this girl's an animal right now, man. Dakota Ditcheva is an animal. I'm just trying to keep it real, man. I'm just trying to keep it real. And it's crazy, man, because I'm looking and I'm like, a lot of people now, even online, are thinking that, like, if you go to Instagram and stuff like that, like some people think that Dakota is overlooking Samiko Anaba. But the thing is, it's like, I don't think she's overlooking Samiko Anaba. I think she's just confident. She's just confident. And this is crazy because a little while back, I was the one on the fence. All right. But now it seems like, now that I'm actually seeing the work and the dedication she's putting in, now I'm on the train. But it seems like other people are jumping off the train now. Robot Chicken said combo season glow. Look, man, I'm just being real. Like, it's proven now. It's proven. Like, I'm not one to jump on a hype train. You know me, I ain't gonna jump on no hype train. Like, I gotta see the work. And when the work is put in, then I'll take a ticket. Okay? Then I'll grab a ticket. Like, if you try to give me a ticket and I ain't seen where this train is going, I'm gonna be like, oh, hold up now. Where's this train going? Then you catch me at the next stop. I'll take a ticket then, if I like where it's going. Okay. If I like where it's going, yeah, we can do that. I mean, them last couple of stops, Jenna Bishop and Tyler Santos. Yeah, I was like, all right, we gotta look at this girl as something now, because Dakota, she's fighting to a higher level than some of the unranked girls in the UFC women's flyweight division, right? Like, Dakota is fighting to that same level, maybe even more dangerous. So when I'm looking at somebody like her, who's this huge striker with dangerous power now, and I'm matching her up with a good explosive Samiko Anaba, kind of plays into her style. I mean, am I wrong? Like, I like Samiko. That's the thing. I like how she takes her approach. I like her hand speed and her combinations, but it always comes back to me with this when it comes to WMMA, or some women in WMMA, is the lack of defense. And I think I've seen her get hit one too many times by lesser strikers. That makes me kind of question how she's going to evade some of this onslaught coming from Dakota. Like, how well is she going to react to maybe at least 2 or 3 of these punches before she has to make a solid adjustment? And will that solid adjustment of maybe trying to take Dakota down, will it suffice? I don't know. I really don't know. So yeah, Dakota's dangerous, robot. And that's why I'm trying to say now, like, I see, yeah, because it's been proven against a former title contender and, some dangerous girls. And my thing is, like, once you match an explosive striker up with somebody that's kind of methodical and fights big and has a hard right hand and a good left hook to the body, how can you not say Dakota is almost guaranteed a finish here. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to downplay Samiko again. I see her working hard. She's out there training right now. I'm just looking at the size, man, and the power and the overall strength here, and just the killer instinct. Just so much is adding up to maybe a finish here. And if Dakota doesn't get a finish, yeah, like she has. It's almost like she has to get a finish here, not just because she said she's levels above Samiko Anaba, but she has to get a big finish here, because if she doesn't, it kind of will take away something from her. If it, let me put it this, if it's like a 29-28 or like a split decision, it's gonna make people look at her a little different. It's got to be another run through for her at this point to really keep her fire going. The longer she stays away, then the slaughter, the massacres, they got to keep happening. They got to keep happening the way they're happening, because the minute she does get like a decision or split decision, or people are going to start questioning her. But I think she has more than enough to go in there and get a finish. And I don't really, at this point, yeah, with her just saying something like that, like, "Oh, I'm levels above," she's just being confident now, because I think she's done what she needed to do outside of the UFC, right? Easy said, question: is this her last fight in the PFL? I really don't know. I really don't know. Like, I don't know if her contract is by the year or is it by the fight. Some people sign a 2-fight contract. Some people sign a 2-year fight contract. So I don't know if it is like going by the fights. How Holly, they had like a 6-fight contract, 8-fight contract, or whatever left over. I don't know if she's just trying to fight out a couple more fights or what, because the last we heard was something around maybe like 2026 being like her last year. But you never know. You never know what other kind of money they offer to hold out a little longer. But for her, I think eventually she does want to get to the UFC, and for her fire to keep burning, she's going to have to reach out, and say, "Hey, man, like, if y'all can't give me what the UFC's offering, which is good opponents, I gotta go. Let me get out of my contract." Easy says she'll come straight ahead and run into Dakota's punches. Dakota better show up for this fight, and no easy fights. I hope she's not overlooking. Right. That's the number one thing. Like, I hope she's not overlooking. I don't think she is overlooking, but the more, this fight, the longer this fight goes on, there's going to be questions, right? The longer the fight goes on and she's getting touched up by Samiko, then of course people are going to start saying something. Like, if Samiko has any good moments in this fight, it's got to be a complete shutout again for Dakota. Let's be real. Like, Dakota's got to go in there and kill again, kill this girl. Not literally kill her, but you know what I mean. She got to put her out. She got to put her out or got to stop her. And that's the thing. Like, I think Samiko has really good hand speed, but sometimes when she darts right in, all you have to do is throw up a jab or throw up a front kick to the chest. And this girl's long, man. Like, Dakota's huge. So if she throws up like one front kick, she could stop all offense with just that front kick to the chest, Because let's match them up real quick. Of course, I'll do my little keys to victory on this one, because I think, BJ, I know he picking Samiko Anaba. He thinks Samiko Anaba gonna win this fight, but I don't know, man. Let's see, 5'8", 70-inch reach, okay, and she knows how to use it. All right, this is one of the first times I say this about any fighter. Look, you got a 5'8" flyweight, maybe 5'9". I'm gonna go as far as to say I think Dakota's like 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. Okay, knows how to use every bit of that, right? She knows how to use every bit of that. Against Samiko Anaba, 5'4" with a 65-inch reach. And yeah, she does extend. She's got some good punches. She's got good combinations. but that's 5-inch reach disadvantage and a 5-inch height disadvantage as well. So that's a lot going against Samika. So Samika is really going to have to turn into a grappler at some point in this fight. She's going to have to turn into a grappler or a dirty boxer. But even then, if she tries a dirty box, man, Dakota's going to clench that head and start Muay Thai, throwing in Muay Thai knees, man. That's all I see right here. I just don't see what Samika's going to have to offer. Which we going I know tomorrow, man, we're gonna have some smoke for each other on this one. We're gonna be going in. Easy said, yeah, Dakota's timing is crucial when it comes to UFC. Don't want to lose that window. No, you don't. You really don't want to lose that window right now because this is a good time to get in. This is a really prime time to get into the division. So whatever fights they got for her, try to run through them. I know she probably wants that Liz Carmouche fight, but my thing is like, if the UFC offers something better, just go ahead and take it, if this contract is off of fights. If this is fight based and this might be her last fight, go. No, I don't either. I don't either, Robot. I don't see like a Tyson versus Douglas situation here because it's going to take a mixture of a lot of things. It's going to take physical strength. It's going to take a hard grappler to really put Dakota into, deep waters and questionable moments. I just don't see that here. Like, let's say if like Erin Blanchfield, her defense was a little bit more solid and her striking, it would take somebody with that type of motor. Like, say if you had a better Erin Blanchfield with like better defense and hands, it's going to take somebody with that type of motor on the inside to really push and pressure and maul a Dakota. I just saw Samiko getting hit by some big shots against Mackenzie Stiller, who's a judoka. That just kind of makes me question how she's going to handle this striking. Like, Mackenzie Stiller was hitting with some big right hands, so Denise Kielholtz, she fought a high-level striker, Denise Kielholtz, and she did all right. She did all right. Like, she didn't get stopped or anything, but I just think this is a fight where she's going to get touched up here, and it's all going to come down to her heart, Sorry, I was drinking something. Easy said Dakota will struggle with a real wrestler. I think so. A wrestler that can throw some hands too. You know what I mean? Like if she's fighting like a wrestler that kind of has like some Khabib moments or like some Islam moments that really pressures, but also throws some good overhand rights and can stand their ground and keep coming. It's going to take like a woman that can mimic Islam or like a Khabib type of style, Can't be somebody mimicking like Conor or anything like that because anybody doing that, she'll kind of pick him apart and I think just destroy him. So yeah, I just think that this is a fight. I don't think that Dakota's really downplaying it. I think she just knows that she's been doing this for a while now on this level. And she's already fought a pretty high level in Tyler and Jenna Bishop. Okay. And now she's just letting you know that, hey, this is a fight I know I can win. I can win this fight. Because Samika is, I said 6-1, right? Oh, let's see. 8-1. 8-1. She's fought some decent fighters, what's her name? Vito Arteaga. I remember that Randy Field win and then that Whitney Piles knockout. Some of these fights I would say are on the level of some of the opponents of Dakota. But when she stepped it up against Denise Kielholtz, against that type of Muay Thai fighter, she lost, right? But some of these other fighters did give her a little trouble, like Mackenzie Stiller did. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of math here. I think she's kind of a small flyweight, good flyweight. Like I said, a lot of spirit, but I just think, man, Dakota's going to go in here and do some work. I think this is just another fight where we're going to see Dakota do some work, man. And I'm seeing it, I'm just seeing it now. Like That power is real, and she's gonna keep on dropping these girls, man, if they don't have the right defense. Yeah, mimic Marab, mimic Marab. Yeah, Marab, man. All angles, all energy, all ground. I mean, this dude, he be doing everything, man. Like Sugar couldn't do anything this second fight. Sugar was done, man. I thought Sugar started off okay in the first round too, like his takedown defense, but eventually he crumbled. So yeah, Marab is a good. That's a good opponent. That's a good style to mimic if you got a grappler or wrestler coming in. Like somebody needs to be like they need to be like that. Robot said if Ebos loses to Ricci, should she retire because the hunger is gone? In my opinion, um, if she loses to Ricci, yeah, I would say like it depends on how bad though. It depends on how bad. Like if she loses like by getting beat up by her, yeah, I think so. But like if it's like an off night, I hate to say retire because I hate to see the fighter, just lose a job or lose their source of income here as well. Like I hate to see that. So uh that would put her on a 3-fight losing streak. Dang, man, she's 1-3 in her last 4 fights. She did beat. Well, no, wow, man, like she's 2-4. She's 2-4. I think she'll probably need to retire or maybe take a break. If you do lose, yeah, if that says a lot though. If Ricci beats Ebos in a dominant way, she might need to retire. Because I like Ricci, but I just don't see a lot about Ricci that stands out. But if Ricci go in there and dominate Ebos, yeah, Ebos might need to retire. Because I just looked at the record too, man. 2-4. No. Hold on. 2, 3, 2. Yeah, 2-4. Dern finished her. Barber finished her. Rose beat her. Lana Pinheiro she beat. Girl got a lot of heart though. I do like she's one of my favorites to watch. But yeah, I just don't. Yeah, Brazilians don't retire easy. He said, I don't know, man. Hey, Marina did. Marina Rodriguez did. She finally retired, right? But yeah, man. This fight is, I think, early Saturday Eastern time. I think the main card starts at 10:30 a.m., which means like this is a co-main event, so it probably won't start till like 1 or 2. I might jump on to call it, not just to prove my point, but I'm just saying, man, like this don't even have nothing to do with me being on the Dakota hype train. It's just telling the truth on this one because I like Samika, but I just think Dakota is going. I think Dakota going to go in there and do what she do, man. I think this might be another big stoppage. Might be another big stoppage. All right, what else we got going on this weekend? Oh yeah, got this flyweight fight, Lauren Murphy's goodbye fight. Right, this is Lauren Murphy's farewell fight, taking on Eduardo Moura. Which the more I look at it, might be the softest touch you can get at flyweight, next to somebody like Luana Carolina. Luana Carolina is a softer touch, right? As far as like power or takedown threat. I think this fight here with Eduardo Moura is kind of a test for. It's definitely a test for Eduardo Moura, but for Eduardo Moura, well, for Lauren Murphy, I think it is going to be one where she's going to have to fight. It's not going to be a fight where she's going to just go in there and get an easy dub and then ride off in the sunset. She got to fight for this retirement fight. All right. I think that Wayne Cohn fight would have been hell though for her. That would have been a good fight. But this one here, I think it's going to be rough in its own way because Eduardo Moura don't got like good striking. Like her striking is not really good like that. I mean, Denise Goins outstruck her. I think that her grappling and her energy and her overall strength, like Suarez is going to kind of push Lauren Murphy here. Lauren Murphy been out for what, like 2 years, maybe a little bit more. So I think she's going to kind of force her and struggle her, push her into that type of fight. Lauren Murphy though, man, she just got do what she usually does. I think like just be that hard worker. That's the type of style she is. Be the boxer, be the wrestler, whatever the situation calls, but don't spend too much time in the clinch with this big girl. Eduardo Moura, I think she's at the weight she needs to be at. So she's going to be strong. She's a big flyweight. Man, she was a big strawweight, but she's a big Eduardo Moura is a big flyweight, but she was a big strawweight too, So maybe at some point this girl might be bantamweight. You don't know, right? So I think that Lauren Murphy here, either way, whoever she was taking on, she's going to be in for a good hard retirement fight. All right. Now the one I think that would have made more sense would have been her and Casey O'Neill, because Lauren Murphy was talking about Casey O'Neill and kind of built up some trash talk between the two. So I think that Lauren Murphy versus Casey O'Neill would have been the perfect fight. The threat level is not as high. It would have been a ranked opponent she could have beat on her way out. And it would have had a little bit more like a grudge match feel to it. You know what I mean? So that would have been a good fight for her. But, Lauren, I think with her being out longer, I don't know if she had like that injury that couldn't line it up. Casey O'Neill had some injuries again. So that's not happening. But this fight here, I don't know, man. I kind of think Robot Murphy's cage rust might be a problem. Lauren's got better hands, but she is strong. But her kryptonite is like stronger fighters. And I think Eduardo Moura might be a stronger fighter in this situation. And she's a little bit fresher. I think that Lauren's boxing isn't really difficult to adjust to. So I think Eduardo Moura might get the takedowns that she needs. Like you get in there, maul, not spend too much time on the feet, and put Lauren on her back until she can get some ground and pound in and get the finish. But to me, Lauren just kind of needs to stick to a game plan of just stand up and body kicks. Stand up and body kicks and deflect takedowns. Don't give Eduardo Moura that room to make it competitive. But I think Lauren's got enough skill sets to win this one. I think if Denise Gomes can do it, man, I think Lauren can do it. But again, that weight might come into play. But don't be surprised if Eduardo Moura go in up here and do something big, man. Like Eduardo Moura might come in here and finish Lauren because she is inactive. Like, what do y'all think? Who do y'all got? I will check it out this weekend since it is Lauren's last fight. I'll make sure to. If I call it, I don't know. Oops, I clicked on something. They added a lot of new stuff to this YouTube StreamYard. Hold on. I'm just fixing something here. Yeah, the cage rust is real, though. Robot said Lauren can win. She's a vet. I'm not counting her out. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm going to stick with Lauren on this one. Because I didn't like the IQ of Eduardo Moura in that Denise Gomes fight last year. She looked like she was lost in that fight. Denise Gomes looked a little lost too, but Eduardo Moura looked a little lost in that one. I think Lauren's got the skills. Like, I think Lauren might be able to do it. Easy said even Casey knew Murphy would beat her. Crickets from O'Neill. You think so, man? Casey's always injured. Probably can't book a fight. Yeah, she's young too. That's the sad part. I hope Casey O'Neill can, get 100%, get back in there because, need these young fighters in there, man. Like, I hate to see young fighters getting injured so fast. Like, what do y'all think it is with Casey O'Neill that gets her injured? Is it improper training, or is it past injuries that just get opened up? Or do you think she's just weak somewhere? Like, do you think it's like a weak leg or something, or weak knee? Like, why do you think she gets injured so much? Because you got older fighters that seem to be doing better. Like, of course, Grasso, Manon, you heard about them tearing their ACLs. Miranda Maverick, she tore Did she tear hers? Yeah. She did, right? She tore hers in this recent fight with Rose, but it seemed like Casey O'Neal's always injured. Mm. I hate to see Lauren go out on an L, man. I like Lauren Murphy though. I know a lot of people don't think she really brought anything to the table. I like Lauren, though. I like her as a fighter. You know. Okay, Easy say he's going Lauren Murphy. No, he's going with Moura. Okay, he's going Moura. Robot say he's going Lauren Murphy. I'm looking forward to this fight though. I'm looking forward to this strawweight fight. We gotta get back on the path of my girl Fatima Klein here. Fatima Klein, big strawweight. She's a big strawweight, but she's a fair strawweight. Like she ain't too big. She ain't no oversized strawweight. Like Eduardo Moore, you could look at her and say, "Nah, girl, you a flyweight, or you a bantamweight, maybe." Right? You could look at. I look at Eduardo Moore. I'd be like, "Girl, you a bantamweight or featherweight. You ain't no strawweight." Um, Fatima Klein, she's definitely a strawweight though. Like she's just a long, good size straw. She kind of reminds me of like JoJo Calderwood, like as far as her build. She's like long like Rose, kind of built like JoJo and Joanna. Not really like heavy, but just long and a little bit wiry. And I think that's what's going to help her build up her skills through, just build up her skills through this division too. She's able to fight these different size fighters, whether they're short, you know, same height as her. You want to kind of force her to use different skill sets in here, and I like that Fatima Klein is really liking her striking. Like Fatima loves to box now. Like she loves to jab and move. And most of the times you see a grappler coming straight from like jujitsu, they look off, man. They look not terrible, but they look off. Like they look like they don't want to commit to, the jab sometimes, or even like some kicks. I think Jillian Robertson was kind of having that problem. But yeah, easy. It's beautiful to watch these long kickboxers work. Like when she transitions to like kickboxing, I think Fatima does really well. I like the fact that she wants to do a little bit of everything, So, her coming in here fighting a boxer like Melissa Martinez, I want to see how she handles that movement, and can she out jab Melissa Martinez? Melissa Martinez is kind of small for the division, though. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I've seen a few of her fights from Combate. She got a few knockouts. I think she's got like 5 knockouts on her resume. So she's a pretty solid boxer, as far as, how she moves and gets these, strikes in. But gotta look at competition, because when she fought Elise Reed, I didn't really see that type of power there. She looked a little smaller than Elise Reed. She almost looked like an atom weight. Honestly, man, if they make atom weights, that's where she need to be. So I think that that's going to be the big problem here. Like if Melissa Martinez can't move, if she just can't, keep this fight moving and, stick and move and get the respect of Fatima Klein, she's going to fall behind. Like that's got to be her game. She's got to box and move and, counter all of that. She's got to move and get the respect of Fatima. But Fatima Klein, that girl, like I said, she can throw strikes back. And once she gets on the inside against a smaller fighter, it'll be over quick. So to make it easy, I'm going for Fatima Klein in this fight. I think she does a little bit of everything, but the best part of her is a ground game, and the growing part is her striking. That's dangerous. Okay. Walter Bell said Dakota has completely robbed me of my interest in watching other flyweight fights as well as female fighters in general. The others don't measure up. Easy said it's beautiful to watch those long kickboxers work. Robot said, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not judging, but Aaron and Fatima. Oh boy. I don't know. I have no idea. Man. It really ain't my business, but I'll just say they're friends. Okay. I'll just say they're friends. Going back to Walter. I don't see it that way, Walter. Like, I'm not hung up on one fighter. I mean, when I watch boxing, I don't get hung up on one fighter. I like different styles, man. Like, That's why it's called mixed martial arts. Like you're gonna have different styles and you have different strengths and weaknesses. Like I'm a fan of the game, man. Like ain't no fighter can rob me of my interest in the sport. You know what I mean? Like Dakota's good, but Dakota doesn't set the bar for good wrestlers, a good grapplers, a good fighters. Period. You know what I mean? Like I love the fight game. Period. I love the fight game. Period. Just like when people like Mike Tyson and they just like Mike Tyson, they ain't really no fan of boxing. They just like to see knockouts. Me, I love watching Floyd, Terry Norris, Winky Wright, Andre Ward. It could go all the way back to these older fighters like Mike McCallum, who just passed away. Um, I can't be robbed. I can't set my bar that low, man. I don't set my bar that low because when you lose your fighters too, like when you focus on one fighter, you are you you upset, you hurt your own feelings, man. You just hurt your own feelings, bro. I don't put all my sights on one fighter. And that's just me. That's just me. Easy said Dakota hasn't begun to fight the cream of the crop. I'm a fan, but that's why they fight the fights. She got way more to prove. Exactly. Exactly. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, she ain't done nothing she ain't done nothing except showcase really dangerous skills, but it hasn't been matched up against solid opposition. You know what I mean? Like, it looks good, but how's it gonna measure up to what's measured as the best? Right? You got to see it measured up. But to me, when it starts measuring up against the best, then I'm locked in. Again, that's just how I view fights, man. Like I don't look at one person and say, "Oh, this person did." They don't set the bar for me. Um, BJ, what's going on? BJ said y'all hype Fatima. Hey, she hyped herself, man. She's good. I'm surprised BJ don't like Fatima. BJ been switching up lately. He don't support his grapplers no more. Fatima's Klein's a grappler, and now you going for the striker and Samika. Come on, BJ. BJ done switched up on his grapplers, man. Come on, bro. Fatima Klein gonna come for G Rob next. BJ says, that's how I know you biased for strikers. Who's biased for strikers? Easy. I'm biased for strike. I mean, strikers are my favorite. But what did I just say that makes me biased for a striker? Walter Bell says, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for what? I do believe Dakota is going to stop Samiko Anaba. I do believe that. So y'all stay tuned for that because a lot of people are kind of going on the fence about that now. I'm feeling Dakota now because I see her rising. Like, hey, y'all don't jump off the train whenever Dakota starts to lose. Though I want to see y'all stick with Dakota if she ever loses. Like, y'all gonna still love Dakota when she gets out grappled though? Because I like her skills. I'm feeling her skills now. Easy said, leave Jillian alone. Yeah, Jillian making her move though. Look, for real, like Jillian Robertson doing her thing right now. I think she just need to put down that. Jillian just got to put down that. She just got to put down that smoke, but so she can focus. I'm just saying, man. Look, maybe it works for other people. I just think that if you put that stuff down, you focus 100%, you gonna go. You can get there. Robot said, "Who you got? Piera Rodriguez or Ketlin Souza?" I think I got Ketlin Souza in that one. I think I got Ketlin Souza. Easy said, I still love Holly. Yeah, I like Holly, man. I ain't gonna never leave Holly, man. Axel said facts. Oh, facts about what? What did I say, Axel? I can't even remember. I can't even remember, Axel. Okay. what went wrong with Manon. I know actually I told you I'm gonna do that video. I'm gonna record it today. No, I'm gonna record it after I get off of here or tomorrow while still fresh in my mind. Robot said I stick with Andrade, and I'm not scared to say when I say she's gonna lose. Me either. No, like I ain't scared. Mm-mm. Yeah, like we all know like when Andrade gonna fight that person that jabs, oh she gone. It's all good. Because you like the fighter. You like the fighter, you know? You like the fighter. BJ said I got Samika. That's good, man. Like I said, look, I like Samika Anaba. If Samika Anaba wins, I'm gonna be happy for her. But I just don't know, man, how she's gonna get it done. I just don't know how Samika Anaba's gonna get it done in this fight, man. If she shows me something different that I'm missing right now, hey, prove me wrong, man. Prove me wrong. Yeah, easy robot. I'll always like Andrade. Even whenever she ticks me off and I'm asking for her to do something big, I'm still gonna turn. I'm gonna still tune into an Andrade fight. Mm. Axel said, nobody still want to fight Manon. She probably was not fighting at the UFC Paris card because of that. Yeah. No announcement. No announcement on UFC Paris card. Sam Hughes is fighting on the Paris card. Shout out to Sam Hughes. She's fighting Shauna Bannon, which is kind of awkward. You know what I mean? Like, just awkward that usually seem like they pushing for French fighters first. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to get all the French fighters, like the French women and stuff like that. But Sam Hughes about to wipe Shauna Bannon. I'm telling you right now, Shauna Bannon ain't gonna stand up to that. I already picked Sam Hughes to stop Shauna Bannon. That's a good stopping win for her. I'm just saying. Easy said, Samika better come get that check and let my girl cook. He said, cook it up, cook it up. Uh-huh. What let me see. Okay, B just said he's got Samika. Tomorrow we going in tomorrow, y'all. We are going in for sure tomorrow. We got two things to go off of. Just so y'all know, tune in tomorrow because tomorrow me and BJ are going to do a Dern versus Jandiroba round by round. Because I'm telling you, I thought Jandiroba won that fight. We got to do that tomorrow on the show. I seriously thought Dern well, I won't say like it was some easy win like for Verna or Dern, but I thought Dern won that fight. I mean, Verna won that fight. Samiko is faster. Samiko might be faster, but who's got better timing though? Who's got better timing? Dern boxed Verna. Dern ain't boxing nobody. Dern might have outstruck her in some moments, but she ain't got no boxing. She ain't got no boxing. Shoot, Verna done beat. Verna's actually getting better than Dern. Though. That's the thing people don't want to accept. Verna done beat 3 people that Dern can't beat. Walter said, I've been watching combat sports since Floyd Patterson, Archie Moore were sipping, stealing dad's beer on Friday night fights. He said Dakota will run through entire UFC roster. That don't back up your point, though. That don't back up your point. That still don't back up. That don't back up your point, man. I've been in there. Trained some people, and that's all I'm gonna say. But that Dakota though, that's good. You watch boxing like that because I do too. But hey, I've been in there. Easy, he been in there. So I feel where Easy coming from though when he said Dakota, because he been taking punches too before. But running through the entire UFC roster, we just got to see it happen first. We got to see it happen. Because remember, it's MMA. Because even my dad, rest in peace, he'll tell you there's a difference between boxing and MMA. All right. You might have good hands, but how you gonna look when you're on your back? We still learning that, right? Mm-hmm. Believe me, I like Dakota. I'm just not driving this hype train. I'm catching a ride because I want to see where it go, but I'm not driving it. Robot said, I'm rooting for Sam Page. I'm tired of Shauna Bannon. Her style annoys me. That kick she was throwing was very weird in that last fight. Who was that she was fighting? Puja Tomar? That was a weird one. Oh, yeah. What do y'all think about this, too, before I go, man? Weili and Grasso linking up to get some work in. I see Weili, you trying to get a little intel, right? Weili want to get Jean Weili trying to get a little intel about Valentina, maybe. And Grasso trying to step up her game a little bit on the ground. I mean, look at that size here. Weili got a little bit of a muscle to her. I mean, she look a little bit heavier than Grasso, don't she? Yeah, Axel said it too. She look a little big, right? She look a little big, man. Like, I don't know about height wise, but of course, she do look big here. She looking like she might outweigh Grasso a little bit here. Um, I mean, this is good link up, man. This is a good link. This is a good link, man. I like the fact that Grasso is humble enough to say, "Hey, let's get some work in," because that's what Weili had to do, right? That's what Weili had to do when she took on Rose. Even after she fought Rose the second time, what did she do? Hey, let's get up there with Marab. Let's get some work in with Marab. So Jean Weili linked up with Marab, and she ain't looked back since, right? That girl cardio and her wrestling been off the chain. So Grasso got to do the same thing. And that was the thing. I think, when Grasso won the belt, there was so much going on, a lot of pressure and just a lot of things going on. Like, she couldn't really prepare for the second and third fight like she prepared for the first fight. Y'all know what I mean? Like, the first fight, she had full preparation and full focus for, because that was the only thing that was going on. But then a lot of promotion happened. They did the tough house and, jumping right back in there. Valentina ain't no one-dimensional fighter, right? So when you go right back in there with Valentina second time around, you got to do, you got to do what you did the first time, but better. So it comes out a draw. Then they do the third fight, but they film in the tough house. So she didn't really get a chance to, really focus on wrestling and things like that, which we saw she had issues in the first and second fight. She was getting taken down easy. So a lot of that kind of came into play. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, like, that's just how it is. Like, that's how it is. Like, once you start moving up, there are things that, you got to make sure you still working on, especially when you're trying to defend against Valentina 2 times. You got to keep fighting the same fighter, but Valentina's not like other fighters. So I think it's wise now, while there's downtime, is to get this type of work in and just keep going from there. Weili, yeah, I think it's good for her. Weili get to roll with a flyweight. She's trying to get that work in too. I don't think these two will be fighting anytime soon. I think Grasso might be targeting Rose next. I think Rose said she would like that fight, right? In Mexico, or not Mexico, but where is it going to be? Texas, UFC Noche. So yeah, that worked, man. That will work. But yeah, this is necessary work, I think, on their side. Like, Grasso, the only way you're going to get better against physical fighters is, to really being there with one training. Grasso did have Grasso was looking better in like the clinches, I think, down the throughout her flyweight path. Like I thought, like against Macy Barber and against Valentina in the second fight, like her strength was there. I like the I like the clinch game she had in the inside game. I like her strength there. So I always thought like she was transitioning there. But as far as like her ground game and wrestling, that was her weak point. That was really her biggest weak point. So now you got to see. Now she has to see somebody like Weili to get that work in to really take her to that next level. Yeah, BJ. Yeah, Weili look thicker than Grasso. She definitely do, man. She definitely does. So, you know, um, flyweight as far as making the weight might not be an issue, but it just comes down to her style. Like, does her style work at flyweight? That's going to be the big question. Yeah, Easy said Weili only big because she's not cutting weight. He said Shevchenko had a whole career of kicking some Chinese butt in Muay Thai before Weili was hitting the bag. Yeah, she been doing it, man. Easy got owned. He said Grasso got owned by Valentina. If I was Weili, I wouldn't want that loser energy rubbing off with me. Oh man, he said I'm trolling. Oh man, where's the Grasso era people at, man? Don't come at the Grasso era people. BJ, you gonna take that, man? Don't nobody defend Alexa Grasso like they used to, man. What happened? Don't nobody defend her anymore, man. That's sad, man. Like, I still like Alexa Grasso. I just never thought she would beat Valentina, but she did. But I didn't think she would beat her in the second and third fight. She did. He said you don't want that. Come on, man. Maybe that's what she needs, though. Maybe she needs the winner energy to rub off on her. That's what's happening. The winner energy is going to rub off on Alexa Grasso. Yo, Marcus Bell, what's going on, man? What's up? Oh man, I think it's going to be a interesting outcome for her. I think it'll be an interesting outcome. Yeah, easy. I was yeah. I pretty much didn't think Grasso would hold that belt like that. Like winning it was definitely possible because of the game plan they utilized. But after that, I was like, I don't think she's gonna hold it like that. And I wasn't being mean. I'm just saying like it's a totally different thing, man. Totally different, you know, realm you step in when you defend the belt. Because Valentina, to me, won the second fight. I thought Valentina won the second fight, but they didn't give it to her. She had to go in there and solidify it in the third fight. Oh man, BJ said shaking my head. Come on, man. Where y'all at? Y'all ain't gonna defend Grasso anymore. Like, I still think Manon will come back and win. Like, I think Manon will get another title shot before Grasso does. Like, I still rock with Manon like that. Like, I think she can still beat a lot of the other top 10 contenders or top 10 fighters. See, I can say that, but where y'all? See, I rock with the Beast like that. I'll tell you the truth about Manon, but I'll tell you also that I think, there's some things she needs to work on before she gets back into the belt status to fight Valentina. But I think she still beats a lot of the top 5 fighters. Like, I think Manon still beats Macy Barber. She still beats Aaron. She'll beat Grasso. The toughest fight she'll have, I think, of course, is the champion and Natalia Silva. I'm gonna be honest; those will be the toughest fights for Manon Field. But what about y'all, former champ, man? Former champ Grasso. I want to hear some of y'all say that. Like, where does Grasso stand? Now, what do y'all think? Where does she stand at? Mm. I ain't really hear nobody come back strong for Grasso over here like that. Nobody ever really came back strong for Grasso saying, "Oh, she'll be back. This is what she needs to do." Like me, if I didn't think Manon couldn't do it, I would tell you. But I think she still can do it. Like, I think there was a lot of things in there. Like, it was just a bad approach, and a lot of the things that she had weren't used right, you know, so it can be fixed. It can definitely be fixed in my opinion. Easy say, I will tell you right now, Grasso's confidence is shot. I think she's due for a break. Yeah, that might be it too, man. That might be it too. Axel said, yeah, it was just a bad approach from Manone and the team. I think so. Like, I do, the more I look at it and I reflect, like I'll talk about it a little bit later or tomorrow in the video. It was just a bad approach because her 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 trying to match Valentina with striking, I think was just a mistake. But there was a lot of like strength opportunities there and good takedown opportunities that where you were like, whoa, okay. I think really main thing building up to her fight with Valentina, they should have really been, focusing on like more of a more inside fighting and clinch game and even like grappling. Robot said Grasso is still elite. Is the hunger still there? Uh, I don't know if the hmm, I don't know if the hunger is the same as winning the belt or getting there, because that fight against Natalia Silva was who you got to remember that Natalia Silva fight that might have taken her down a couple of steps too to make her say, okay, I got to think now. Like it's not only Valentina, but now I got Natalia Silva to worry about. These different styles. BJ said Grasso has to evolve. Easy says seemed like Manon froze up for some reason. It wasn't like Valentina was really keeping her from doing anything. I think it was that. I do think it was partly that. Like the first round was the shocker, but I think ice kind of broke in the next few rounds. Because if you go by what Two Beast said, Two Beast, shout out to Two Beast, him being the numbers man, he said that you could almost argue that Manon won the fight going by his numbers. So, I mean, maybe he felt like, okay, she did break the ice, with control time and so on. But I thought she lost fight. But go by those numbers, I mean, yeah, she kind of woke up. That first round was kind of freeze up because, you get hit in the nose, you start bleeding, and that doesn't happen a lot. It hasn't happened in very many fights. It could kind of put a damper on the plan you want to execute. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's just what it is. I think that stuff like this is necessary, though. Like iron sharpens iron. You got to get the champion. You got to keep that champion energy around you, and you got to keep working. You got to keep on, doing what you do. Be humble and say, "Hey, I'm not good at this, so let me call certain people that are." Yeah, that's a big part, to evolve, because Grasso was evolving when she came in. Like this Grasso is not the Grasso at 115, not at all. Grasso has really shown some greatness as far as wanting to step it up and evolve as a fighter. Um, I think just to get through that pressure part, it takes a little bit of humility and stuff like this, to work on things that she's uncomfortable with to take her to that next level. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if they do the Rose fight in September. Uh, that's a possibility, right? It's a possibility. But anything else? Let's see. Anything else y'all talking about? Easy said, is it wrong for me to accept finishes from champions? Not all the time, but most of the time. Is it wrong for me to expect finishes from champions? Not all the time, but most of the time. I won't say it's wrong, but I wouldn't really do it. Like, I don't really expect finishes from champions. I expect solid wins from champions. Like I expect somebody that gets into that position to be ready for whatever. And it doesn't always come as a finish, but I expect some dominant finishes and a mixture of no, I expect some dominant wins and some finishes here and there. Like um kind of like when Joanna had the belt, like sometimes you'll go the distance, but there's still convincing wins. I mean, if you're a true champion, I kind of expect those fights to be more um, defining of who you are and why you became champion. They shouldn't always be questioned. You remember Easy, you remember Jermaine Taylor? Like some of his wins were questionable in boxing. Some of his wins were questionable in boxing. Like there was a point I liked Jermaine Taylor. I thought Jermaine Taylor, he had some really solid skills, but there was a lot of holes in his game where I was like, oh man, like when he fight the right person, he gonna lose because some of his wins were very questionable. I remember he was fighting that smaller boxers like Corey Spinks. I think he barely won that. Almost lost against Corey Spinks. Cassim gave him a hard time. He had a draw with Winky Wright. And then finally, when he fought Kelly Pavlik, he got knocked out. So, yeah, like, I mean, for somebody to be like a real champion, or you expect to be a real champion, you expect like solid wins, but not really like finishes all the time for me. You know, not really finishes. Yeah, Taylor was good, but he didn't really listen. Yeah, I think he's a brawler at heart, but he had potential to be a really good boxer. Like, he had potential to be a really good boxer, but he just didn't really um, listen. He just didn't listen. I could see it in like all his fights in between. Even when Emmanuel Stewart trained, he didn't listen. BJ said Barber questionable or just regular questionable. What do you mean by that? Do you mean like, yeah, what do you mean by that? Regular questionable or questionable? Barber questionable or regular? How do you mean? JP, what's up? Easy said only thing I question about Barber is her health now. If you mean her potential to be champion, I question that. Well, I don't even question that. I just stated that I don't think she's in position to be a top to fight for the belt anytime soon. Oh, okay. Was Taylor questionable like Barber? Good way of phrasing that. Yes. Yes, BJ. Yes. Like a lot of his wins were questionable. It was just a matter of time before he got in there with somebody that was a killer and then he got knocked out. So I think the same thing was coming for Barber. Like Barber had a lot of questionable wins and she was barely like holding on. But had she fought somebody like, I think if Barber fought Aaron, Manon, or Natalia Silva, you would have saw her get beat bad. Honest opinion. It would have been one of those three that would have really beat her bad, I think. It was coming down to that because let's be real, like I thought she lost against Miranda and Andrea Lee, but the offense of those fighters wasn't like serious like that. But if she fighting somebody that just keeps on coming or they're bigger and stronger, eventually she was gonna face a loss like that. That's what I meant. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, questionable like that. Like good, but there's something still not clicking with her. It's still something that's gonna cost her. Like maybe like I hate to say it, but maybe this illness was kind of a blessing in disguise because it kind of saved her from a fight with like Aaron and Natalia Silva, or like I said, Fiora down the line. Oh, B just said Taylor's wins were questionable, and I said questionable like Barber. Yeah, yeah, like that. Yeah, questionable like Barber. Yeah, questionable like that because she was she was barely getting by people that weren't really putting the offense on her like that. And then eventually somebody bigger comes along and batter, which he faced and he lost. But like same thing with Barber just never faced that bigger batter person yet. You know, like Chikagan didn't have a lot of punching power, like unorthodox striking, like Natalia Silva. But eventually, if she would have fought somebody like that, yeah. Axel said, "What do you think about Tapiria's boxing? Is he the best boxer in the UFC? Um, is he the best boxer? I think he's one of the best right now. Like he did beat, yeah, he did beat Volkanovski. You know, but in Volkanovski, I think he got some pretty good boxing too. You know, I think his boxing, I think his boxing is solid. I mean, them right hands and left hooks he was throwing. Like as far as champions who can box, I would say yeah, he's one of the better boxers. Paul said, "Is Alicia Rodriguez fighting this Friday?" Yes, she is. I'm actually gonna go live for that fight card. There's a few women's fights on there I want to catch, so I'm gonna go live for that card. That's yeah, she's the main event too. I'm still disappointed how she lost in that fight against what is her name? The big girl. What's the big blonde girl's name? What is her name, man? You know, big big girl, man. I know she's what Fairtex as well. What is her name? 18-year-old. Well, of course she's 19 now. Smila Fairtex. Yeah, yeah, yeah. JP said, I honestly think Aaron would have mauled Barber. Yeah, I think so too, because I think Aaron's offense would have been a bigger step up than Chikagan, Miranda, Andrea Lee, and all of them girls like that. And that's the type of opponent that would have kind of put Barber in her place, I think. What is Smila doing right now? I don't know. Let me see if she got anything lined up. I haven't heard from her for a while. Smila Sindel. Let's see. Yeah, she hasn't fought since last year. I wonder if she has like an injury or something. She beat Alicia Rodriguez in September 2023. Then yeah, she beat Natalia, what's her name, Ditcheva in May of last year. Yeah, she's been out for like 14 months, man. I have to look into that and get back to you on that. Yeah, fear text. Fear text. I'm gonna come up in there is a combo fair text next. JPC, I just can't get behind fighters like her. More people are starting to see through her. Oh, y'all talking about Macy? Um, yeah, like I don't hate Macy Barber or anything like that. I definitely don't. Like I want to see her well and I want to see her fight, but man, like just being real as far as like how she's been winning some of her fights, I don't think anymore. Like she's winning me over as that threat like I thought. Like not even to beat other contenders anymore. You know, I was looking at her win streak. I was like, okay, maybe she'll step it up. But then even that Chikagan fight was it was kind of questionable. And now there's nothing else to really go off of. So the second time around with triple threats kind of bombing, you know, Lipsky's gone, Macy Barber, you know, she's kind of been, you know, you're on the back burner right now. So yeah, I can't really say like, oh, think she's going to rock it to the top. Easy said Macy left a bad taste in my mouth from the start. She was arrogant as heck. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Sometimes you just got to go in there and fight. Just got to go in there and fight. Especially if you ain't standing strong on anything yet, man. Like you just got to go in there and fight. I don't know. What do y'all think though? Like some of y'all came in. What do y'all think about Samiko and Dakota? JP. Yeah, JP. If you just came in here, Dakota and Samika. Is Samika gonna be a big threat to Dakota? I don't think so. BJ, are you sure you picking Samiko and Nava? I just gotta know. Axel says he's got Dakota. It's gonna be kind of early. I don't know if I will call that fight in the afternoon. I might call it. It'll be quick, right? Yeah, I agree, Easy. I hope she gets healthy first because life goes on, but life goes on outside of fight. As much as some of these fighters want to keep fighting, like Holly and so on, there's still other life. And I love life right now. Like, um, I know they think that's it because they, you know, feel like they're accomplishing their accomplishing. I mean, yeah, you are, but it don't compare to what life offers once you know what life really is. So to me, I'd rather her retire or take 2 or 3 years off and then just say, okay, I'm never coming back. I'll be fine with that. As long as she ain't putting herself in a situation to be sick. Because you know what? People always think fighters are healthy. People think that some of the things that people do to their bodies as fighters, they think is healthy, but it's not really that healthy, man. Cutting weight ain't healthy. Fighters might can hit hard and take people down and they can put on the prettiest muscles. You say, oh, that look good, but bodies ain't in the shape that you really think they are. Like, I like to get in shape for longevity. I just want to be able to get up in the morning and be able to bend over and pick up my shoes, without hurting myself. You know, I want to be able to squat down and not struggle getting back up from a squat. And people don't understand, these fighters, to train consistently prepares you for war, but it don't really put you in, the best of shape, right? Because again, weight cutting that's why a lot of wrestlers be passing away, man. Like wrestlers, people think wrestling is fake, but the stuff wrestlers go through as far as like putting their body, that's why there's a lot of wrestlers that be dying. A lot of wrestlers be dying. I mean, besides the steroids, wrestlers be breaking their backs and severing nerves and all of that. That's why I don't know why Amanda Nunes trying to come back, because her nerve damage was bad in her legs. So I thought her nerve damage was bad, So I guess she felt like it's time to come back. She rested a little bit, but how many times Ric Flair have back surgery? You know, I used to look at that back in the day. Ric Flair used to have like a big, big, what do you call it? Just a little incision where they used to go in his back. And then there's another wrestler that was married to one of them Nico twins who he got brain damage, So things like that. I really look now, I'm online. I'll be like, you see these people flexing and all that. I'm like, okay, that's all well and good, but what's it really bringing? And I just say that to say somebody like Macy Barber, who's not in tip top shape, Macy Barber really needs to reconsider fighting maybe, like, because she seemed like she got some life threatening illnesses. She's the one that went on record to say she thought she was going to die at one point, So when you start thinking in that term, I don't think it's time to fight anymore. I think I would rather, breathe. BJ said, "Nah, I ain't picking Samika, but she has a legit chance." Oh, you ain't? Okay. Marcus said, "Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but PFL already have Dakota lined up to fight Liz on 4th of July." 2026. Are you joking, man? Axel says it official. Dang, man. Well, it's like I said. I said she ain't gonna be in the UFC in 2026, right? Y'all ain't gonna. I said last time you ain't gonna see her to 2027. Dude, man, that's a year from now. Mm. Marcus won't be the bearer of bad news. He won't get blocked now. No, I'm just joking. Marcus Bell, Marcus Bell. He is the senior moderator, senior VP moderator. He is employee of the year all the time. Easy said, "Combo. If you notice, Ric Flair always fell on his side. He wouldn't fall directly on his back. He would just, yeah, he risked being paralyzed for decades. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I I wish they would do that fight earlier, man. Like they could do that fight at the end of the year, right? But it's how they do their seasons. That's the thing, man. I really don't like that season format. What about y'all? Do y'all like the PFL season format? I'm kind of glad they got rid of the the point system and everything, but this tournament thing kind of season thing kind of holds it off sometimes. Like, dang, that's a long time, man. PFL is talking about getting that fight set up at the White House. Oh yeah. They want to do like the UFC, right? Like the UFC gonna do the White House thing and then do it after. I don't know, man. Like, what's y'all's take on the UFC at the White House? I think that's a dumb idea, man. Like, I'm just being real, man. Like, come on, man. What are they gonna do next? I ain't even gonna go there, but I think, man, a UFC event at the White House, PFL at the that's kind of a joke, man. That's some joke stuff right there. Of course, all the people who go patriotic, man, they gonna want it. But my thing is like, if you really like your country, man, you could show some respect on where you have fights and stuff, man. I'm like, other countries gonna be looking, other countries gonna be looking at us like, oh man, they silly, man. How can you take something seriously when you having like a fight event where fights can break out? People already act people. You will have that many drunks there. I mean, are they planning on doing like an Apex situation? Because I know you ain't going to do no major event there and have like thousands of people up in the White House. Regardless, I think that's just, yeah, a huge security risk. Are they going to do like an Apex thing? Just have select people up in there. I wouldn't even fight on that. If I was there, I'd be like, nah, I refuse to fight on this, man. Like, got them fighting up in a. No, I ain't even go there, man. I think that's crazy. Gary said, come see American fighters get slumped at the White House. Right. Shoot, it might turn out to be like, hey, it's going to turn out to be like USC Noche, remember? What was that, last year's? And all the. It seemed like all the Mexican fighters were losing, remember? It might be that type of situation. Put all your American fighters and they get slumped. Mm. No, they're gonna be in somebody's pockets. They're gonna pay and say, "Nah, you gonna take a dive on this one." I just think that's silly, man. Like that shows where countries are this sort of country be going sometime. Like, yeah, America's good about some things, a lot of things, in different ways, but come on, fighting in the White House, backyard wrestling. That's what it remind me of. It remind me of some backyard wrestling or something. Well, I ain't look, that just show you. Look, that's why I do my show because look, you ain't gonna want me on MMA Junkie or anything like that because they gonna fire me right away. No, I ain't got to cuss or nothing. I ain't got to act crazy or cuss. I'm just telling you the truth, man. Nah, I just tell you the truth. I ain't cussing or any of that, talking trash. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, if you ask me if I was on one of their interviews or shows or MMA Junkie or anybody like that, one of these bigger platforms, I'm gonna tell you too, man. That's a stupid idea. That is the stupidest idea, man. Like, people just can't take you seriously to be holding an event in the White House like that. No, man. It's one thing, your president goes to an event. That's fine. Everybody go to boxing matches in Vegas and stuff. But then you got to bring it into the White. You got to bring it into the White House. Come on, you got to be serious, man. Take your country serious, man. And yeah, it's Combo Fairtex live at the White House. That's funny. Street beefs at the White House. Yep, you gonna have your diverse group of characters out there fighting, man. That's all I keep seeing too, man. You gonna have like the tables out there too. They're gonna be everybody sitting out on the little tables and the cages on the outside. Funny part, Andrew Tate said he want to fight too at the White House. Oh boy. Oh boy. Mm. Uh-uh. Andrew Tate don't need no fight. Somebody just need to whoop him. Uh Elon and Trump will be at the main event. Will be the main event. Oh man. Oh yeah, the Hunger Games. Yeah. Whew. Or the Running Man. You remember the Running Man, y'all? Y'all remember that movie? I'll go all the way back. You remember Running Man with Arnold? The game show, The Running Man on from like 1980 something. I just watched that like not too long ago. I went to the movies to see it. They were playing it. That's what you can have one day, like people trying to make money and they're gonna be playing that Running Man game. Yeah, Running Man is probably like one of my favorite Arnold movies, next to Total Recall. Yeah, they played it in my city in the theater. They played it back to back, I think. No, 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 they didn't play back to back. I went to see Running Man and they just played Running Man one night for the anniversary of it. And a little while back, what did I see? Total Recall and Terminator 2. That's what I saw. Yeah. I think Running Man and Total Recall are my favorite Arnold movies. What's y'all's favorite Arnold movie? I know I'm off topic. What's y'all's favorite Arnold movie? Death Sentence makes his pro debut at the White House. Oh man. All right, what flyweight fight do y'all want to see next here? Favorite Arnold movie? Okay, Gary said Predator. Predator's a good one. Easy said my favorite is Predator. That was his best work, in my opinion, as far as acting goes. Okay, you got two Predators. I'll say I know my sister likes Conan. I think, yeah, I'll stick with Total Recall. I think Total Recall is my favorite. Yeah, Total Recall is my favorite. What? All right, what flyweight fight do y'all want to see next? Axel said Terminator. Okay, the first Terminator. First Terminator was kind of scary. I haven't seen the first one in a while. I need to go back and watch the first Terminator. Terminator was like a horror movie. Second one was like an action movie. I know everybody loves the second one. Commando was good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Running Man is probably my second favorite. And I don't know if y'all remember that movie Raw Deal. I like that one. That was like my one of my favorite. Raw Deal. Come on, man. Where's the Jingle All the Way fans? Where's the Jingle All the Way fans, man? Ain't nobody a fan of Jingle All the Way? Yeah, I would say Total Recall. My go-tos are like Total Recall, Running Man, and Raw Deal. I like, yeah, and Terminator. I like Terminator 2. Terminator 2, but the other ones, yeah, are good too. Yeah, Predator and Commando and Predator definitely go-tos, but I love those movies though. Kindergarten Cop. Yeah, Kindergarten Cop. I still haven't seen Kindergarten Cop. I like Jingle All the Way though as a kid. I mean, who am I fool? I still watch it. No. I saw that. I went to see that last Christmas. They were playing that and A Christmas Story, and I went to go see that as a double feature this past year. They've been playing like a bunch of Arnold movies at one theater, so I went to see Total Recall and T2 as a double feature, and then yeah, I went to see Jingle All the Way. All right, Gary said he wants to see Wayne Kong versus Grasso or Rose, even though it's unrealistic right now. Okay. Yeah, I'll take Grasso versus Rose. Um, Axel said my flyweight fight. I would say Manon fights someone, whoever it is. Okay. Um, I'll say Rose and Grasso's a fight I want to see, and then I'll say Manon. I would say Jasmine and Casey O'Neill versus Viviane Araújo. Oh, Aaron. I would like to see Aaron and Jasmine too. That's a good match. Jasmine against either one of them now because she's moving up the ladder. I want to see her fight either one of them. I think Aaron and Jasmine that Aaron and Jasmine would have like a lot of energy, bad energy there because um Jasmine beat Fatima Klein, and Aaron and Jasmine are teammates, right? So that would be interesting. That would be interesting there. All right. So what else we got going on here? Since I ain't been on live for a little bit, I was just on here a little bit longer. Yeah, there's only two women's fights this weekend, not counting the Dakota fight. UFC has Fatima Klein, Melissa Martinez, Lauren Murphy, and Eduardo Moura. UFC 318. Oh yeah, Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier card. Uh, Carly Giudice and Nicole Cagliari. That should be an interesting fight. Oh, Ebos and Ricci was canceled. I didn't know that. I know somebody brought it up earlier, like who would win the fight. We were talking about that robot. I think robot brought that up, like she retired. Oh no! It got moved. It was supposed to be July 19th, but it got moved to the end of the month. That's it. Yeah, Manon and Jasmine. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Easy E says, shout out to all the Grasso fans. Just now realizing how deep she's swimming in the rankings now. I exactly, yeah. Like I'm not even like a fan like that, like they were, but I knew she was swimming deep, man. But now it's like, oh boy. Aaron versus Jazzy. Yeah, yeah. The one reason I want to see Aaron versus Jazzy because I think the build-up's gonna be man, the build-up gonna be kind of crazy. Like they don't really like each other. Between Aaron, Jasmine, and Barbara, there's like that mean girl energy there. Max Holloway just became an honorary CTE merchant. Ooh, man. Max Holloway's another one, man. I can't wait till he hang it up, man. I don't want to see his head be a jug of marbles. I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to see that head, you know, take any more damage. He take a lot of shots. I know they talk about how many shot. He's the highest strike. What? He's got the highest strike, most significant strikes in the UFC. like over 3,000 or something like that. What about taking shots? Well, no, it probably ain't as much as like Dustin Poirier or somebody, but you know, he takes a lot of hits though. Yeah, he does. Oh yeah, he's had it for a while. Like I think my sister actually called out when she was watching. She was like, "This dude's kind of slurred already." She's like, "This guy Mac, he kind of slurred," and that was like maybe 7 years ago. That was like 7 years ago when she said that. Yeah, shout out BJ. BJ said, "Can't wait till tomorrow." Yes, sir. Remember tomorrow, 7:15, 7:30. We're gonna get on, and we're gonna definitely chop it up. Um, Verna and Dern round by round, and we're gonna talk about the Seamu and Dakota fight. Like, talk a little bit more about that, of course. And now that he brought up Jaren and Jazzy, like, how would that fight match up? Two physical girls that like to, bow up and get down. Paul said, "How about Josh Van and Roy?" Oh man, that's what I forgot to talk about. I stuck it out with my man Josh Van, y'all. I went perfect in that card, 5-0 on the main event, Paul. The main card, I got all my picks right. Well, I was on live. I mean, I was about half asleep after a while, but yeah, I was still on live calling it. I got all them picks right, man. I was like, I got to rock with Josh Van on this one. Came down to it. I like Brandon Royval, but I just thought that Josh Van's style would be a little too much. That was a war. That fight, man, that fight almost made me want to do a post-fight analysis, because I was like, I need to start covering some more men's fights like that, man. That was a beautiful fight. That was the best fight on the card, man. That jump reminded me of like Manny Pacquiao versus Eric Morales or something. It was straight war. I enjoyed that fight 100%. Darius versus Wakano was a good fight. I was going with Darius in that fight. I was still upset Costa didn't show up to fight my boy Roman, because I know Roman would have won that. But anyways, Pantoja, I like Carl Francis, but it came down to Pantoja, man. Pantoja's striking was on point. Pantoja's striking was fine because he was confident in his ground game, so he wouldn't strike for too long. He kept Kai Carl Francis resetting until he kept just out grappling him, and Francis couldn't handle it. But Josh Van, man, like, that boy got some power, man. Like, his punches were like just ripping Royval apart. Royval was taking too many shots, man. Like, he kept taking the shots. Like, he would not just stick it out from the outside. Like, I like the heart, but Royval had a really good jab too. Like, had he fought more on the outside, double jabbing, triple jabbing like he was doing, he could have stole a couple of rounds. But that last round, man, when he got dropped, I was like, "Oh, you just lost the fight, man. You just lost the man." I might have to do a doggone round by round on that one, man. I might got to do a round by round on that one, man. Because yeah, Paul, that was a good fight. That was a good fight. Right now, that's fight of the year for me. IMMAF is a great amateur promotion. Let me check. Have I been watching their fights? Hold on. Because I don't really remember some of these promotions by names, but I have to look on Instagram, Gary. Hold on. Like, who all they have fighting? I'm not really familiar with the name, but who else fought on their cards? When is Crawford going to beat up Canelo? Uh, in September. I got to talk about that fight too, man. I'm going to talk a little bit about that one. I think it's going to be something new to Crawford as far as the weight, but I do think Crawford is going to be really strong, man. Like, his strength is kind of underrated. I think Crawford is like one of the fighters I would say could be an MMA fighter. Like he could definitely be in the UFC, like if he wanted to. Canelo's style, man. Okay, Manon won the is amateur Olympic MMA. She won the gold medal in their 2017. Okay, all right. Ebos Manon, some other fighters fought there. Okay, yeah, I just can't remember the name of these places sometime. Okay, if I go back and look at the fight, then I'll know just about fights. Okay, okay. You know, Paulina Venusa, she has a lot of fights. She's got a lot of amateur fights. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I keep an eye on them as a whole. Then, definitely. Easy said Crawford don't respect MMA though. I think he doesn't respect the pay. He doesn't respect the blueprint like Dana White in the pay, but I think he respects the sport. You know, because he wrestles and you know his sons wrestle, but I think he respects it like as a combat sport and a discipline. But I don't think he respects like you know the pay and the quick turnaround for that pay, like the compensation. That's where it comes in for him. But I think you know if he wanted to do it, like say if he wasn't like committed to boxing like he was, he'd probably make it pretty far. What are Canelo's chances of winning this fight? Like, can Canelo draw him into a punching match? Like, can Canelo hurt him? I think Canelo could hurt him, but you know, can you catch him? You know, can you catch those angles? Like, sometimes I think Canelo's lazy. You know, I think Canelo he's kind of been lazy with his jab. He has some good feints and certain little feints he does, but I think you know Crawford might adjust to it. You know, that's just how I see it. Like, mm. But that might be something to talk about on the boxing channel if I get back on there and start talking more boxing. Easy. Uh, yeah, if you subscribe over to the All Boxing Everything channel, maybe I'll jump on there and start talking about it a little bit more. Easy said, ironic how Canelo ducks a killer to fight a killer. Yeah, a killer that kind of deceived him a little bit by making him think that he'd be able to handle it, right? Like Crawford. Like, Crawford, he's kind of like a gambler to me. Like Crawford may not have this diverse resume of great competition, but when the stakes are high, he kind of throws in all his chips, right? He's kind of like one of those pool players that fights to a certain level to kind of trick you. But then when it's for the big money, that's when he shows up. Like Crawford's fights all the way up Errol Spence were good, of course. He showed great talent, but he was still like kind of losing rounds sometimes, and he would get hit. But when he fought Spence, it was like perfection, you know, like he didn't get hit at all. He took him apart. And then he fights at 154 and looks average, right, against Madrimov. And now I think when he fights Canelo, he's going to step it up again. You know, I think he's going to put all his chips in. Yeah, Josh Van is a breakout star of the year. Yeah, two fights in a month, and both were like really solid fights. Yeah, breakout star of the year. And now you take it on. If he take it all the way home, Gary. If he take it all the way home against um, Pantoja, man, yeah, he's gonna be on fire. Crawford retired Spence. I think he did, man. I think he did, man. To me, like Spence don't really need to come back. It's been 2 years. I don't really want to see him come back at this point. I really don't. But on that note, y'all, I am done for the night. Good show, good show. Appreciate everybody that's coming through. Um, Tune in tomorrow, 7:30, with my man BJ from No Filter MMA. we're going to chop it up a little bit about some other stuff. Some Weili Jandiroba talk. How's that rematch going to go if it happens, right? We'll be back on tomorrow. If you haven't, hit the like and subscribe. And yeah, keep on supporting your favorite channel that likes to talk bathroom breaks. Right? All right, y'all. I am out. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Later.